This is Andrew Bocher again with T.C.W.S.M. We're going to be doing exercises today in the weight room. I'm going to show you form and technique and proper control of the weights for your chest exercises, and we'll be able to isolate those, and we're going to go through a lot of them. There should be at least 5 exercises we're going to be going through. We're going to start off with bench. Right now I got 225 on the bar here. I'm just going to do a couple reps for you. When you're doing bench, your hand positioning is very important. When you're putting your hands on the bar, there's usually rings on the bench press Olympic bars, okay? The rings are guidance points to where you can consistently put your fingers right where they need to be. On this one, I have my hand a little bit wider on the right side and a little bit closer on the left side than my right side because my right arm's longer, okay? So when your hands, if you reach up in the sky, you'll be able to see, if you're gonna look up here at my hands, if you can see them, my right arm is about a ½ inch longer than my left. So I always put my right arm a ½ inch wider on the bar, okay? So you'll see that when I'm doing the reps. You want to breathe in on the way down, out on the way up, okay? Breathing is very important. It gives you more power through your actual press, okay? Here we go. So you're going to have the left hand, because it's shorter, in. I always have my ring finger on the left side, and I have my middle finger on the right side. That way it's about a ½ inch wider. You're going to breathe in, push up, get the bar off, okay? Hands are in a good position. Your head should be behind the bar. The bar should not be over your eyes, okay? From here, you can let the bar down slow, breathing in and breathing out on the way up. Okay? So that's a good solid contraction. You're getting a lot of good contraction in your core, and you're able to control the weight a lot more. Okay? So breathing in. Okay? And it keeps the bar even. When your hands are off place, the bar keeps rocking left and right. You don't want that. Okay? Breathing in once again. Okay? So you want to be able to breathe consistently. It gives you a lot more power throughout your exercise. Rep range around here, you want to stay in a higher rep range if you're looking for lean toned muscle for endurance. You want to stay in a lower rep range, which is like 3 sets of 5, 3 sets of 6 for more mass building. And you can always alternate back and forth. Alright, so this next lift is for your chest as well. It's going to give you more elongation of your chest. You're going to get a lot more stretch. You're going to feel it more up towards your armpit area, okay? It's the lateral side of your pec, and it's giving you a lot of good stretch and good depth in that pec. It's another very great chest exercise. It's similar to this seated or laying supine position, which is laying on your back, dumbbell flies. Dumbbell flies are pretty similar to this, but it's a little bit more isolated when it comes to weights, a little bit more shaky. This is on actual cable system, so it's a little bit more controlled. So for beginners, this is probably a better bet than regular dumbbell flies. On this one, you're going to have 2 handles connected to 2 individual pivoting cable systems. That way you can move around with you. Put on a decent weight. The goal is to get yourself lined up in the middle. That way when you're pulling forward, you're even. You don't want to be pulling harder with one arm or the other, okay? With your feet, it doesn't matter which leg's in front. You want to have one leg out in front, dominant, okay? That way you can have a slight bend if you're in control, okay? Slight bend in the elbows. Don't have them locked out because that hurts your elbow. Slight bend, breathing on the way out. Okay? When you come out in front, you want to bring your palms together. Don't bring your thumbs together, don't bring your pinkies together. You want to bring your palms together in the front, okay? These are a good solid contraction in your chest. Going all the way back, breathing in, and then breathing out. Okay? You want to stay nice and controlled because it can cause injuries in your shoulders if you go too fast. So when you get back at a good stretch right there in the pec, then breathing out, and that's the cable fly. Okay, so also with the chest exercises, you'll see a lot in gyms, they'll have an incline bench press like so, and they'll have that flat bench like we did before on the first video. Incline bench is working for your upper or superior pecs, so you can get more definition from your pecs itself. Regular bench is going to work more of the center part of your pectoral muscles, okay? Incline bench is going to work more superior up top, okay? So you're going to get more fuller defined pectorals, okay? So on this one, when you're sitting down, same thing happens identically. I don't even need to demonstrate it. It's the same as flat bench. You put your hands on the rings to line them up identically. If one arm's longer, remember, this is very, very crucial. If you feel yourself dipping to one side more than the other, like one side's harder to push up than the other, one arm's probably longer than the other arm. So whatever arm is longer, say for instance my arm is an inch longer than my left on my right, okay? So I put my right arm an inch wider on the bar. That helps out to even out the balance of the bar. Same thing with incline as it is in flat bench. Breathing in all the way down, out on the way up. Okay, so that's incline bench, and that's the purpose of it. It's very important. All right, so this is the dips. Dip machine, or you'll see usually are a bar that's like so. It's sitting at a shoulder width apart. Some are a little bit wider. I prefer a little bit wider. This one's pretty narrow. You're going to be putting your hands down on the bar and actually pushing yourself up into position where you're here. Okay. Very important to keep yourself nice and stable, and you want to lock your heels together so you're stabilized. Okay. Some people go straight, but you usually hit the ground before you get deep enough in the exercise. When you're here, you bend your knees back. That way you get more depth, and you let your elbows out to the side, not behind you, but out to the side, going down. Nice and controlled, you get a good depth, good stretch in that pec, and then push it straight back up. Breathing in on the way down and breathing out on the way up. Okay, so by bringing your elbows out to the side, you're getting more of a stretch in your pec, just like the cable flies work. But when you bring your elbows back like this, when you bring your elbows back behind you and pushing up, you're getting more triceps. Okay, triceps are very important with your bench press strength, but it's not hitting your chest. So if you're looking for straight chest exercise, on the dip machine, you want to go out and widen your elbows. All right, so this next exercise is for your chest as well. This is the one I was telling you about on the cable flies. This exercise is similar to the cable flies, but a little bit more advanced. So for beginners, it's a little bit rougher. You want to start low in weight and work your way up. This is the dumbbell flies itself. So it's not cable flies, it's dumbbell flies. You're working your chest again, you're coming all the way out the side to get a good stretch, and you're bringing them up together. The entire time is very important to keep a slight bend in your elbow, okay? Very, very slight. Don't bend it too much and don't lock it out. So in this exercise, you'll be laying back on a bench. You'll be coming here with the weights in front of you, and you're going to be going all the way out with a slight bend in the elbow, so you can see the elbow slightly bent still. Coming all out, get a good stretch, and then breathing out, bring it all the way to the top. Okay? When you're breathing out, always stay in pace with your breathing. So if your breathing gets out of whack, it's usually because you're going too fast. Okay? I'm going to demonstrate with the dumbbells here for more full exercise. Go ahead and come on over here. And on this exercise, you kind of got to go off your own personal basis. Some people have shoulder problems when you're going down. If you start to feel pain in your shoulder, you might be pushing your barriers a little bit too far. So only go as low as your body tells you to, and then work your way up from there. So this is the 50-pound dumbbells. Some people jerk the weight up and they really throw a lot of strain on their back. When you're grabbing dumbbells, you want to stand with your back straight, picking the dumbbells up in position, putting the weights on your thighs, so when you're sitting down, they're ready to go. When you're ready to rock back, you kick your legs up to bring them up to your chest. Okay, that way it takes the strain off your back entirely. You're laying down, okay? Some people have their legs up. I don't care for it too much. Legs down is best. You're gonna push the weight up in position. Okay, and you're gonna let it out to the sides and breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. So breathing in. Good stretch. All the way up. Bring them together. Don't clang them because you want to be in control, okay? Breathing in. Okay? Bring your knees up to the weights and rock forward. That way you're in control of the weights the entire time. There's no strain in your back. Okay, the next exercise is in the same position as the dumbbell flies. This is the dumbbell press though. It's simulating a regular flat bench press, but you're using single-handed dumbbells. So sometimes you'll have a dominant side. Your body will push more with their dominant side on a straight bar than the weaker side, so you get kind of an off-centered pec. With dumbbells, you're actually evening them out. You're getting an equal amount of exercise on each side, so you get more symmetrical pecs. For bodybuilding, it's very important, and for overall appearance, it's very important. With this, it's the same positioning as a bench press, laying down, having your hands on the bars, thumbs facing each other. You don't have to have them out, but you can just have them to where it's a good guidance. Letting them down for a stretch, and then pushing all the way back up on the bench, like so. Remember, squatting down, using your legs to pick it up, weights on your quads, kicking the weight up once, twice, leaning back. Okay, from here, you're going to turn your thumbs in, like I said, facing in, having a good stretch, and then pressing up and down. So on the way down, you breathe in. Good stretch, breathe out. Okay, breathing in. Breathe out, okay? Now when you're doing this, make sure your hands aren't tilting like this or like this. You want to keep them nice and parallel, okay? So that when you're going down, they're even, and you're pushing up, they're nice and even as well. That way you're getting equal exercise on each arm. Bring them up in position, and that is the dumbbell. Okay, Okay, so on this one, when you're in a gym and you're doing dumbbell presses or dumbbell flies like we just demonstrated, you can also simulate an incline fly or an incline press as well. By doing that, you have to find a bench that actually pivots. Okay, well, these benches you'll see, you're going to come over here so I can show these. These benches usually have a knob on the lower end of the bench. Okay, if you come down here, the knobs itself you usually just pull out, and then you're able to pull them up. Ooh, a little WD-40 action needed on this one. All the way up in a position where it's at about a 45-degree angle, and let it lock in. So that's perfect for an incline. You don't want it too erect because in that position you're going to be doing like a shoulder press. And shoulder press is of course for the shoulders and not the pecs. At this 45-degree angle, it's going to give more of an upper pec exercise for incline dumbbell flies or incline dumbbell press. So you would have the way to kick them up to your side just like the regular flat bench dumbbell press and dumbbell flies. You'd be leaning back and doing the same thing. So you'd be doing the flies here, getting a good stretch, and you're going to be bringing it up. Okay, so it's the same positioning, it's just you have an incline bench now. And then you also do the same with flies or dumbbell press, bringing it down and pressing it up. So these benches you just have to find in your weight room and adjust them accordingly. Okay, so when you're in your house, if you want to work your chest, you don't have time to go to the gym, push-ups are very underrated. They're very, very important. They're great for the chest. You work your buys and your tries as well. You work your shoulders, your rear shoulders, your rhomboids. I'm not going to get into technical names, but pretty much your back and your chest, your abdominals, your lower back, your hip flexors. Very, very important exercise. It works a very well-rounded aspect of muscles, but it does isolate the pecs quite a bit. Okay, you'll feel a lot of pain through your shoulders and through your arms while you're doing push-ups because they're actually supporting your weight. But push-ups are very important if they're done right. So this is how you do push-ups. This is a regular push-up. Have your hands a little bit wider than your shoulder width. So you know your shoulder width, you want to go a little bit wider than that. Okay, so be in position here. Put your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width. You want to have your fingers facing straight forward. Don't have them cocked in sideways or out, okay, because that throws off where the actual contraction's at. Fingers are straight forward. Your back is going to be nice and flat. Okay, you're going to breathe in on the way down and out on the way up. So from here, you're going to have your abs engaged nice and tight, going in. Okay, keeping your abs tight the entire time. Remember we did a video of that of abdominals. It's just like a regular body plank. Okay, revert to the abdominal exercises for in-home, and you'll actually see proper positioning for body planks on that one as well. But for the push-ups, same positioning as a full body plank, abs tight, all the way down, all the way up. Okay, very, very beneficial for your chest, and that's a regular push-up. The next one is a plyometric push-up. Plyometrics are usually seen when you see a person do a push-up and they clap in the air and then land. Clap's unnecessary. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you can test yourself to do different things. You can also push yourself up and clap behind your back if you wanted to, like so. You can come into a push-up position being here, going all the way down, and all the way down there, okay? But it doesn't really add to the exercise, okay? All it's doing is showing off. So a plyometric is pretty much pushing yourself in a direction. Plyometrics are an explosive motion of the muscle group. So you're trying to get yourself to propel yourself fast. So in a push-up, a plyometric push-up would be here. You're going down, breathing in. Okay? That's a plyometric push-up. You're exploding off the mat, landing back down in position, absorb that shock, and then push back up. You can do as many repetitions if you want on that one. Okay, it's very important. Other than plyometric, you can do eccentric push-ups, which are what we talked about on bench. You want to slowly let yourself down and then push up, which is like this. Same positioning, breathing in, down slow, getting a good stretch, controlled. As soon as you touch the mat, go right back up. Okay, so eccentrics, you always want to elongate slowly down to that finishing position and then back up to position fast. That's an eccentric. Close-in grip push-ups are very good for your triceps. They're also called tricep push-ups. All you do is you bring your hands in about 3 inches closer than your shoulder width. So you bring them in here. And you're letting your elbows down to your sides. Okay, very important, down to your sides. So you're coming here, breathing in, elbows to your sides, and then breathing out. Okay, and I'll be working more of your triceps. Okay, so those are a good amount of different types of push-ups you can do, and you can do different types of reps for each one and have it as multiple sets for your in-home chest exercise if you wanted to. Then that's a variation of push-ups.